Hello and welcome to Attitude of Extreme, AOX Wrestling, whatever you want to call it. I am Perry, and we're here to recap the 20th anniversary of WWF Backlash 2001, the pay-per-view that aired 20 years ago tonight, which Eli and I just finished watching. It was a hell of a show. What? Can you speak?
Chat room, let me know.
Okay, they can hear you now for sure.
All right, awesome. We don't want any more mishaps happening.
Well, we
Okay.
kind of did with the intro, but you caught me, so good. We got that.
Yeah. So, uh,
So, this show, incredible, right?
hey, man, it's just like I remember it mostly.
Oh yeah,
I borrowed the tape from my friend back in the day. So,
damn.
yeah, like, it's been a while. Like I was in like first grade when this freaking was going on. I remember couldn't watch it that Sunday. We had school the next day, so
Right.
my friend let me borrow it, and I saw it on the over the weekend and everything. So
I
that
was
was
in
cool.
I was in my final year of high school, and I actually brought the tape with me to school the next day because during lunch we used to watch this.
Yeah.
Um, whatever. It was a great show. Wasn't there? Looking back on it, there were some matches on here. I was like, what? That actually happened? Because I haven't really watched this show probably in 20 years.
Mhm.
I taped it. I rewound it a couple of times. For a couple of days after it aired. But I never really went back to this show until now. So it is the 20th anniversary. This show aired on April 29th, 2001. It is April 29th, 2021 right now. So, here we go. This show kicks off with the X Factor. X-Pac, Just Incredible, and Albert versus the Dudley Boys, Bubba Ray, Devon, and Spike. 6-man tag team match. What the hell did you think of this one?
This match like really got the heat started. No pun intended. Like it really like blew the roof off of the building. Like this was the match to get you like hyped for the rest of the card. Like the Dudleys and X Factor, they meshed really well together. They were going from spot to spot, just like beating the crap out of each other, and it was great.
Right. Yeah, I've noticed with a lot of these pay-per-views, they always open up with the Dudleys.
Yeah.
Because they just, they get the fans to come all the way up, you know what I mean? So, matches all over the place. You had Spike Dudley doing the Dudley Dog off the top rope. X-Pac is jumping around. Just Incredible guy hitting the balls with the what's up.
Yeah. He
Uh,
slid into the pole.
yeah.
He tried to do the sliding drop kick. He just slid right into the.
And the Dudley Boys were defeated. X-Pac pins Bubba Ray Dudley.
Yeah.
But the Dudleys weren't having any of that. So they put X-Pac through a table. And the fans went home happy. Before WWE started. Hey, your guy lost. Too bad.
Yeah, man, it was great. I love that little bit at the end. The Dudleys just get up and Devon grabs the tables and he just put the X Pac right
Yeah,
through the table.
the Dudleys, they always got their revenge. Um, Rhino versus Raven for the WWF Hardcore Championship. Rhino is the champion.
Yeah. Um,
Yo.
ECW match with the WCW ref, like you
It's an
said.
ECW match with the WCW ref and the WWF ring. A match we never saw in ECW.
Oh,
At least not that I saw, and I watched ECW towards the end. Um, I remember the spot with the shopping cart, and that was a brutal spot, man. These guys
yeah.
just beat the shit out of each other. It was a hardcore match through and through. This
Took a lot
actually,
of time for
this
a
a
match.
lot
For
of
a
time. I
hardcore
was just
match.
gonna say that they actually gave these guys some time. Hey, you basically got what they would have done in ECW probably toned down to a little bit because I'm sure they would have used blood in ECW for this one.
Oh yeah.
You got a decent match out of this. You got an ECW match that you never thought you'd see in a WWF ring with a WCW referee.
You got who was basically the ECW champion. I mean, versus Raven, who's like a legend in ECW even at the time. So that was like, I mean, what more could you have gotten besides maybe it eventually happening in ECW, but unfortunately with ECW's issues and all that,
Yeah.
him abandoning ship and everything, we never got that match. So this was like kind of a cool fantasy match, come to life for a lot of ECW fans.
Yeah, no, big time. I enjoyed it. They actually would have this match a year later in TNA.
Would it be a year? Because wasn't Rhino still with WWE?
I don't know. Who did Raven have the match with in TNA? I thought it was Rhino versus Raven at one of the TNA shows.
At some point, I know they had. It might have been 2004, maybe. I don't remember.
Rhino versus Raven TNA. Man, I don't know. Maybe I was wrong.
It was Sabu. I know Sabu had a match with Raven.
TNA Sacrifice. But what year was this? Oh, 2005. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, my bad. Or Unbreakable. It was Unbreakable 2005. Whatever. It'd be a couple of years later. 4 years later. Anyway, Rhinos, he gored, I was going to say Spirit, he gored the crap out of Raven. Raven oversold that thing, as he should, and he got the pinfall and retained the championship. I mean, that's crazy, man.
And that spot through the freaking, shopping cart was crazy enough. If you ever, messed around, playing around as a kid on a shopping cart and freaking used to slice yourself on those things, I mean, I'm surprised, Rhino didn't fucking, cut his whole back open or something.
Yeah, that was, you could see when he, flies right into it, his fingers grab the bottom of it, and it's just that he must have been like that. His fingers must have been killing him.
Oh, yeah.
But these guys, they fought it off, so there you go. Next match, William Regal versus Jericho in a Duchess of Queensberry's rules match. I don't even want to talk about this. This is so dumb.
The match was dumb. This was another match I remember as a kid. I don't know why I cared really
this looks like a match Jericho would do today in AEW. It just made no sense. It was just dumb to begin with. And
what even led up to this feud? I don't even know. It must have been
the WrestleMania thing. The WrestleMania match.
Yeah.
It was a continuation of that, so it was just dumb.
It was stupid.
They kept changing the rules during the match. Regal won because he kept changing the rules, and Jericho won at one point, and then they went back to Regal, and the two of us are watching that, and we're just like, what the heck is going on here? So,
yeah.
We have Benoit versus Angle in a sudden death overtime match.
Well, it was the ultimate submission match that went into sudden death overtime.
Okay, right, okay, because I got it backwards on here. I wrote it backwards. The 30-minute ultimate submission match, which ended up in sudden death. Wow, whoop-de-doo.
Yeah.
Good match. Kurt Angle's working his ass off. But there was a joke that was made during this match, and I was like, wow, it's really messed up. I forgot what it was.
I think it was the other match with the freaking... He made a Princess Diana joke, Paul Heyman.
Oh, right, yeah.
She had just passed away or something.
I was like, dude, what the hell?
Yeah.
And by the way, we were watching the network version because I forgot to bring the DVD upstairs, which everything is intact.
They left the music in and everything.
The music and everything. All that stuff is in there. So, yeah. So then it was half an hour we were watching, we were doing other things, we were listening to it. I heard a lot of screaming. Eli heard spots being called.
Yeah.
At one point, people in the crowd are talking. One of them, they both end up by the crowd. I hear people in the crowd talking. I hear the ref talking. I hear the wrestlers talking. I'm like, why are there 75 people talking?
All right. They either had the crowd was either really quiet for this match or like they had the microphone like thing way too high because they were picking up everything.
They were picking up everything. At 1 minute, I thought maybe something happened to the broadcast that we were watching, and I was like, wait a minute, what the hell's going on with this?
Yeah. It was weird. It was a good match. Fortunately,
Eli,
let's see this on Peacock.
Eli, you have a buddy in the chat.
Yeah. What's up, man? What's up, our chemist? That's my buddy Arsenio.
Yeah, man, you can shout him out.
He sometimes comes on our comic book show that we do at NY Warriors.
That's cool.
Yeah,
man.
shout out to him in the chat room, man.
Nice having you here, man. So
yeah, it was just it was a good match, but it gets ruined with certain people being in that match.
Yeah,
I'll just say the wrong man lost.
Wrong man. That's every time they do Angle and that guy, which is going to be the whole year.
Yeah, I know.
We're going to be saying the wrong man lost. That's even Kurt Angle's new tagline: "The wrong man lost."
Yeah, man. It sucks. It was a good match though. Like really, the style of wrestling you don't see too much anymore. Like these were two guys that knew.
You won't see. You'll see it with like Daniel Bryan, but you won't see it with pretty much anybody else.
Yeah, these were two guys that knew how to actually wrestle. They knew the ins and outs of working it and doing the thing, working a shoot in the ring and everything. So they, shout out to Angle. Not the other guy.
Next match on this show was Shane McMahon versus The Big Show in a last man standing match. Yo.
This was definitely this was the most memorable match, on the card, definitely. Like this was, in highlights for years, this match.
Well, they kind of didn't use the highlights for years. In this match, they said, we're going to show this video for the next 15 years. Yeah, no, not really. They showed it all night. They showed it all night, but they did not show it for 15 years in a row. I promise you that. I've been there. We got Richard in the chat room. What's up? We had Romeo Productions in here at one point. What's going on, guys?
Happening.
This match was all over the place again. These guys were beating the crap out of each other. Test ran in at one point, kicked the Big Show dead in the face. He also kicked Shane McMahon right in the friggin' ribs.
Yeah, he completely misses Big Show and kicks Shane. He didn't even hit Big Show at all.
Yo, this is just... And then the big spot. Shane McMahon climbs the Titantron or the set, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
And he jumps 50 feet in the air right onto the Big Show. Crashes on a crash pad, which was not padded down. It had wood.
Literally wood on top of a crash pad.
I don't know, man. I saw wood go down into like a hole.
Yeah, because they had the little air mat inside. Because you saw the wood kind of jump up a little bit.
Right.
So the pad was underneath the wood, but goddamn, that's still what's the point of a pad if you're gonna put like a whole wooden box around it, No.
So what'd you think?
This was a high spot match. This was used to get spot over. Shane conquering the Big Show. Even though, Test stood him up on, the freaking crane, operated that camera. It was a high spot match. This match was like the holy shit moment of the night. They made you, and that was the whole thing with Shane.
So Shane McMahon won because Test held him up on a crane to keep his feet off the floor, and Big Show was knocked out. So that was it.
Yeah.
Big Show looked bad, like the way that he looked. dude, like he completely hasn't looked like that and like since probably around that time.
Yeah.
Yo, I don't even know. He looks like some fat lady like escaped like exercising class or something. Like,
Yeah, and he'd only get worse from there, like I think, until like probably at least within like the last 4 or 5 years.
I don't know, man. He looked pretty bad.
Yeah, he was. Like he wasn't in good shape.
Um, so we go to which I totally had no idea this match took place, and I saw this thing 20 years ago. But that's 20 years ago. Matt Hardy, the European champion, versus Christian versus Eddie Guerrero in a triple threat match for the European Championship.
I don't remember this
I
match
don't remember
either.
this either. Okay,
Like,
so Matt
and I
Hardy,
was like a huge Eddie Guerrero fan, so I was like watching everything with Eddie and Matt and everything like that. So I was just like, "Oh, I not remember this?"
Matt Hardy had won the title, the European title, from Eddie Guerrero on SmackDown, and now they're doing this triple threat match. And yo, this was another. It was a good match. There were some blown spots. There looked like there was a blown spot, but it was purposely done like that
Yeah,
towards the end with the top rope. Uh, Christian tries to do a belly to belly, but he literally just throws himself at Eddie Guerrero. I don't know what the hell was going on with that.
yeah,
Um, Matt Hardy had his little see-through Freddy Krueger shirt on. Jeff Hardy ran out at one point. He looked like fucking Road Dogg. I was like, what the hell? Why is Road Dogg out here?
yeah,
Because he had like red dreadlocks with a hat on.
yeah.
And then Edge came out with like plastic over his friggin' chest. I don't know what the hell.
Yeah, and those pants he wore.
JR says, I guarantee you Lita's going to be with Matt Hardy forever or something. We were just like, Edge.
He's going to be with Edge forever.
Eddie Guerrero looked kind of bad in this match.
Think so?
Yeah.
Man, I didn't think he looked bad.
He blew a spot or two.
I don't know. You can't really tell. Like back then, they were so clean. Like even when they messed up, like it left you speculating.
You could tell he was off.
Yeah.
This match really didn't feature Eddie Guerrero. It was just like he's in the match. Like, okay.
Yeah.
It was more of a Christian Matt Hardy type thing.
Right.
But it really didn't even focus on them.
He didn't even pin Eddie at all. I think he knocked him out of the ring. He just tossed him out of the ring and pinned Christian.
Yeah, because Edge speared him or whatever, and Christian went to pin him, and then he kicked out, and then that was it.
Yeah.
And they set up.
I thought it was a good match. I think this was this was another match. You're halfway through the show already, and the fans start to wind down a bit. This is like the midpoint where, all right, we got to get the fans off their seats, so let's put these guys, right here. So you had two of the best three, the best high flying guys in WWE at the time. So it was great.
Well, we got the main event.
Yeah, this card was really straightforward.
This was a straightforward card. It was entertaining. The fans were going fucking crazy. And this is the Allstate Arena in Chicago, Illinois. And yeah, they were all over this. You had the two-man power trip. Stone Cold Steve Austin, the WWF Champion, and Triple H, the WWF Intercontinental Champion, versus the Brothers of Destruction, The Undertaker and Kane, the WWF Tag Team Champions. The winner of this gets all the belts. So, this match was great. However, a lot of blown spots. This match was all over the place. Nobody knew what the hell they were doing.
Yeah.
It was just entertaining, though.
Yeah,
you really
the end.
Like when I watched this when it aired, I was just like, whatever. They're just having a match. It's not a big deal. But now I'm watching it, and I'm just like, oh shit! Like they blew that spot. They were running into each other.
Yeah.
They were going like 150 miles an hour in this one. But I mean, they were the main event. What are you gonna do?
Right.
Um, Back and forth, man. They're beating the fuck out of each other. All four guys. Um, I mean, you want to give your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, this was like again. I mean, you had Austin, you had Triple H, who was kind of like on his way up to the main event at the time. You had Baker and Kane, who were like the fan favorites. Um, and like this was the match I rented the tape for pretty much back then when I was a kid. You know, because I love Kane and Undertaker. Like that was my they were my two tag teams back in back in the day.
This match had a great story though because it was
Triple
hey,
H that just beat or Taker that just beat Triple H, at WrestleMania.
well, not even
And he,
that. It's just you have all four belts on the line. It's like okay, you know someone's walking out with all four of those belts.
yeah, like no, there was no denying that. Like this was like a big deal
So
type of match.
either the fans, in my opinion, the fans win in this type of situation
Yeah,
because you're gonna see a winner, and it was just good. It put stakes on the line. That's why the crowd was so hot for it because the crowd was like, man, who's gonna win? Who's gonna take all these things home with them? That's when belts actually meant something. They didn't have just a W on them and go. Ugh.
yeah. Had Kane had the broken arm, so they were playing that the whole match. It worked.
Yeah, Austin beat the shit out of his arm with that chair.
Yeah, like this was like Kane just like broken down. Like they beat the crap out of Kane this whole match. And there were points where Kane was coming back and he was dominating the match, even with the arm all messed up and everything, and that was great. Um, like you said, man, all the belts on the line. This was like a big deal. They're going 100 miles an hour. You're gonna have some blown spots, but it made it feel like it was a main event. Like it made it feel like they're really trying to get these belts from these guys. Like these guys don't want to lose their championships, and Taker and Kane don't want to lose the World Tag Team Championships. So like,
They want to win the world title in the Intercontinental.
this is a huge opportunity for these guys to walk away with all the gold. And
And I'm just like,
this match made you feel like that.
and I'm just thinking about this. It's like it's never really been done since then.
There hasn't been a multi-man like a guy with all
You've
the
had
belts.
like the Raw champions beat the SmackDown champions for all four. I get that, but they haven't really done like this type of situation. You haven't had four main event guys in this situation with four main event titles,
Hmm?
and everything was on the line, and the fans were all into it. You've never had that ever again. Even when they did Cena and Orton, and they're going to unify the titles, no one cared about that like they did for this one match.
No.
So, hey, props to them, man. This was a
If
hell
you-
of a story to tell, and it was a hell of a match.
This was a way to make them look dominant, just not even as a team, but as singles guys. Like you saw why Triple H was the number 2 guy with the Intercontinental belt. You saw why, Austin was the world champion. 'Cause they were willing to do anything. And now we conclude. DDP.
I thought the lights were going to go out and the Undertaker was going to show up behind you.
Yeah, right. Oh man, but
And there goes
that's
the
what
Undertaker and Kane's tag team title reign with taps.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah.
So finish what you were saying.
Yeah, just man, always, all the time, man.
I actually have that Thunder on my desktop.
When you're in 2 different time zones, this is what happens. But yeah, again, great match. You really felt the importance of the titles, in this match. And like you were saying, man, you never see that type of stuff.
You don't
again.
even have
Like,
4
you're not
guys
gonna
you can do this with now. Like you don't even have that. You couldn't even like put people in that situation.
You barely have guys to put 1 belt on, let alone like all 3 belts.
I know.
You know?
It's crazy.
Like if you wanted to make a dominant guy, that's what you do. You give him all the belts to show, like, hey, he's the freaking like this guy's a beast. Nobody can beat him type thing. That's why you do it. Like Warrior and Hogan, they were the two top guys. They had both the fucking at the time the top titles. And what more do you do with them other than the number one guy against the number two guy, and who comes out on top?
Let's do a
That
what if. What if Hogan and Savage were WWF and Intercontinental? What tag team would they go after for the belt? Like, say this same match took place in the 80s.
It took place
Say
in the
Hogan
80s.
and Savage were Hogan and Savage were just heels.
Yeah, like what? Like what year? So,
Oh, I got it, man. I got it. They take the belt. I mean, I don't know.
when did the World Wars get
okay,
there? Like
look.
89?
I would say they take the belts off Demolition,
Yeah,
but Demolition have to be baby faces now.
right.
Maybe the Road Warriors, like you said, that would have worked better probably.
Definitely. They beat the
they-
crap out of these guys, each other, too. So, yeah, like a similar type of match. Like you'd probably see Hogan like a little bit more active against the Road Warriors,
Yeah.
But yeah, that'd probably be it to me. Like I couldn't see maybe the not really the Heart Foundation, because I mean they were on top, but they weren't really like
No, it had to be Hogan
main
and
event.
Savage heel on two badasses. That could be baby
Yeah.
faces.
Like it had to be. It has to be the Road Warriors or Demolition.
Yeah.
That's really that's really good.
Yeah, had to be one of those two teams. Anyway, that's just a little what if. That would have been pretty fun.
Yeah.
Hey, man. Stephanie runs out, or she's been out there, but she gets in the ring at some point. Kane kicks her right in the face. Vince McMahon flies out of the back with a friggin' sledgehammer. Tries to hit Kane with it. Kane grabs him. Yo, Vince McMahon threw that sledgehammer. That thing almost fell on his daughter.
Like it almost crushed her face. Like
He threw that thing, and Triple H in midair just grabbed it. And I was like, man, you're lucky he grabbed that thing. That thing could have fell right on her. He hits Kane, gets to 1, 2, 3, and while this is happening, Austin is chasing Undertaker around the building. 1, 2, 3. The minute the music plays, Undertaker jumps in the ring. Referee brings the belt to Stone Cold and Triple H. They hold the belt. Vince, I don't know what the fuck he was doing with Stephanie. He like grabbed her by the fucking hair and was like pulling her to the back. He was like running her to the back. And it's like, you're not going to celebrate with your guys? Like, the two-man power trip, Stone Cold Steve Austin and Triple H remain the champions, and they win the tag team titles. And that's how the show goes off the air.
Yeah.
With Kane and Undertaker battered and broken. However, on May 20th, we have I believe it's May 20th anniversary of Judgment Day 2001, which is the continuation of this. Let me just make sure that's the correct date. Boom. Yes, it is May 20th, 2001. So May 20th, 2021, we will be back here to recap WWF Judgment Day 2001. I believe that's the last pay-per-view that Triple H is on. Ironically enough, that's the last pay-per-view Chyna's on. Oh, shit. And our buddies are the wrong man is going to lose again.
Oh, no.
That's what it looks like. Let me go down this card here. Yeah, they're having the same match again, man. It's 2 out of 3 falls for the Olympic gold medal. Yeah, there's some stuff going on, so. Dude, Chris Jericho's picture on Wikipedia, he's totally like drunk.
Oh man.
Anyway, we have the chat room open. Are there any questions for the chat room?
Yeah. Who's here still?
Who is in here, and do you have any questions about this show? Or any questions at all that pertain to WWF?
Phone died, so I can't see the chat room. God damn it.
You gotta get a fast charger.
Well, yeah, I didn't plug it in before. I should have plugged it in before we started recording. But... Oh well.
So we're gonna continue this month to month. We're gonna recap all the pay-per-views on the dates they aired. 20th anniversary of these shows on this channel. Me and Eli actually sit together and watch these shows on Discord. So we just got done watching it for, 3 hours or whatever, and now we're here. So 4 hours. Every month we're going to be doing this. I think we're going to stop. We're going to go midway in 2002. There were a lot of good events in 2002, but I think we're just going to cover the top 5.
Yeah.
The big 5, because I was involved. I was at Survivor Series 2002. So that's going to be a 20th anniversary in its own, because I was there. I was actually at the Raw after King of the Ring 2001, where WCW invaded. I was there for that. So we'll probably... Maybe we should recap that show as well.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah. Because there was a funny story about that show. There was, what was it? Bob Holly versus Edge, or Billy Gunn versus Edge.
Yeah.
And the crowd starts chanting Hogan. And they're looking at the crowd like, what the fuck? What happened was there was some lady walking around with a big banner, and she had like Ultimate Warrior face paint on, and she had like some kid or some guy next to her, and he was dressed like Hogan doing this.
Yeah.
So that's why everyone was chanting Hogan.
Oh my god.
But if you watch that show, and it's probably on a network, Billy Gunn and Edge look at the crowd like, why the fuck are they chanting Hogan? So.
No, he was coming.
And I think, what was it? No, Kane returned a year later at the Garden. I was there for that one. They were going to light the American flag on fire or some shit.
Yeah.
Kane popped out. He returned. I was there 2003 when he took the mask off. Never forget that one. That was funny. But I think what we're going to do is we're going to probably end these with 2003. So in 2023, I think WrestleMania is pretty much... We're going to do No Way Out 2003 and WrestleMania. Possibly Backlash 2003 because of Goldberg's debut.
Yeah.
Maybe. And I think we're going to call it quits after that with these because there's not much. The good stuff pretty much ends in 2003.
Yeah, pretty much, man. 2004 was okay. 5 was and then Eddie died. And
nothing really memorable about those.
You
know what I mean? Like, yeah, Batista, but we're not going to cover his career. Like, I'm not doing that. We're covering these shows because they were important. Like, these were the shows that kicked off all that stuff.
Yeah.
This was the last year of the WWF. So, why not?
Yeah.
But we want to have, in June for Invasion, we want to have the roundtable back on here again. Frank and Anthony and whoever else was in here. I know Richard was watching it, but he wasn't here for the recap. But any one of you guys that want to come in for the recap, you let me know. And SummerSlam and Survivor Series, we need recaps.
Yeah.
The roundtables. So.
We love Rumble, too.
2002 Rumble?
Yeah.
I don't know if I think the two of us can handle that. hey,
Okay.
if they want to watch it, fine. But I want to get that Hogan and Rock match roundtable
Yeah.
because that nobody was expecting that shit to go down.
Yeah.
Those people went crazy. I don't know. SummerSlam 2002 was good too, with Rey Mysterio versus Kurt Angle
Yeah.
and The Rock and Brock, right?
Yeah. The Rock and Rock. Yeah. Freaking crazy, man.
With what was it? Long Island, Nassau Coliseum booed The Rock out of the fucking building because he was going to make a movie.
Yeah.
And then they were like, "Yeah, we want Brock to win." Then Brock wins and keeps the title at home for like 6 months. And they're like, "Well, Brock should not be champion." It's like, well,
Oh.
you always root for him to win. What do you
It's
think
like
they're gonna do?
just like he did in freaking a few years ago. Just doing the last like freaking 5, 6 years.
What I love is when Goldberg won the championship. And people are like, he's too old. We want Brock to come back and beat him. Brock beats him at WrestleMania, so they're like, yeah, you take that, Goldberg. Fuck you. Get out of here. Brock. And then Brock goes home for 6 months with the belt. And then people are bitching, well, Brock, how dare he not defend the title? He should be stripped. It's like, what do you want? You had a guy who was there, who you didn't fucking like. Then the guy that you didn't like, but you wanted him to beat the guy you didn't like, won the belt. But then you didn't like the fact that he took the belt and fucking stayed home for a year.
Right. What do you want?
What do you want? I don't know, that's these fans today. They don't know what the hell they're doing. They want these 3 feet tall guys to be champion now, so there you go.
Oh man.
The belt is heavier than... These guys can't even hold the belt. They'll pick the belt up and they'll fall off the top rope. Anyway, that's the recap. So we will be back May 20th, 2021 to cover Backlash 2001 from May 20th, 2001.
Yeah.
Should be an interesting show. These shows are always fun because this is when the stuff was really getting good. So, I want to thank you all for being here. I want to thank you all for watching. I want to thank Eli for the recap. And everyone out there, please stay safe and take